This is Boomer TV, and you're watching Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess with Gene Pietragallo, Hollywood actor, producer, and shares his life lessons about getting rid of addictions and unnecessary and useless baggage. And he asks, who says you can't? Today, Gene has a special guest with a body of work that spans over 30 years. Fred Sayegh is an award-winning writer, director, and producer. His work has been seen and heard on radio, television, and made his feature film directional debut with the encore of Tony Duran. This is Andy in the studio. You're watching BloomerBoomer.com, the platform that will launch you toward the happiest life you desire after 55. Join us at BloomerBoomer.com and be part of this amazing community of 55 plus. And now here's Gene.
Hey, Bloomer Boomers. Bloomer Boomers, how are you, everybody? My name is Gene Pietragallo. This is Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess with Gene Pietragallo. So, you guys, if you've listened before or heard, watched and listened to us before, I've been doing this thing alone, and I promised you last week we'd start off with some guests and some people that I hope we can learn from, the people that I respect, some experts, some just great guys. Fred's all of those people. This is my friend Fred Sayegh. Nice to have you.
Thanks, Gene. Great to be here. Honored to be here. Honored to be your first guest.
You're absolutely my first guest.
Thank you.
And as always in this, for me, and maybe not so much for you, but in this amazing story, just always been able to share a lot of stuff with you. When I told you I'd do this, you said I'll be your first guest.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
So, but what, something maybe you're not quite used to is I actually followed through and I've done, a few of these now.
Yeah.
And I've graduated this week to not just talking to myself.
Well, good. Again,
so I couldn't be happier to have you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. So we should really not waste a lot of time and talk about, when it comes to excess, why are you here? You're not really a man of excess. I guess maybe, from what I know, and I
know a guy that is.
Yeah. And probably be doing all that Hollywood stuff. You probably met your share of, those kind of ridiculous loser types. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. But when you and I met, when we were introduced to possibly do this picture, I didn't know all that. They forgot to tell me like that part.
Right.
So that was I kind of learned later.
I think that the thing was that Fred and I, for anybody that's new today or didn't hear me talk about him last week, a couple of guys and I had a story that we wanted to make a film from. It was a story. That's where people get story by credits. And we wanted to make this film, and it really didn't turn out to be anything like this guy wrote, but agreeing to do a little rewrite, my friend Mitchell shared it with Fred, and they had worked together. Mitchell had worked for Fred before. Yep. And it was a neat little story, and it was, like I said, it wasn't what we first thought it was, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in a banquette at the Riviera Hotel with Mitchell, and this guy Fred came, and we told him the story enthusiastically. I mean, obviously well enough that from the way I know it, you left and we looked at each other and said, I think we're making a movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and so to set the stage for that is that this is a wonderful thing in our business. If you make a movie, it's something that people work their whole careers and don't get to get one made. And if you're an actor, like I was, and you're just a little over 50, there's not people telling you that they'll give you a lead in a film and that they really think it's great and we should make a film with you at the center. That doesn't happen to anybody, and that's how Fred and I met. So what goes with our show and My Life of Excess is that I wasn't quite completely immobile yet. I still had spurts and I could fake it a little bit in my disease. So unbeknownst to anybody else involved in this project, I was pretty much a full-blown alcoholic. And also as a guy, and then I'll turn it over to you, Fred, that also didn't even know that I wasn't done yet. So
Yeah, no, I didn't. And as Gene said, as we embarked on this, I was very excited. I saw Gene, some of his early work. I saw some videos. I knew the thing about Bobby Darin. I knew that he did Mac the Knife, and he did a great kind of tribute impersonations and stuff of him. And we worked that more into the picture. Turns out because we wanted to capitalize on that. But all that was great and fun, and we met, and I knew he could do it. I said, okay, and I'll direct it, and I'll help get financing together. And we were on our way. We knew we had just a very short amount of time, but I knew Gene and I spent a lot of time talking about what we wanted to do
every night.
So we did it. Yeah, we did.
Oh.
And I guess maybe I can gloss all over the stuff because I think maybe what people want to hear about is like when the things started maybe.
People want to hear about the train wreck, Fred.
I think they want to see the cut to the chase.
If we save enough time, we could tell them about some beautiful things, like our little visit down in Vegas. And
yeah,
there were some beautiful things that happened in this train wreck.
There was. Matter of fact, and that happened after we got to make the picture. That was the good ending.
Yeah.
There's always. I always said. Matter of fact, the tagline I wrote for the movie is. Even a has-been who never was can come back. That hit me like at 3 a.m. when I think about just people who, almost made it. And this story about this fictitious character, Tony Duran in the picture, he almost made it, and then he loses everything, and then he comes back in the eyes of his family and his friends and things like that, which is really, the most important thing. And I said this at the screenings because Gene and I had the pleasures. We got 6 or 7, 8 screenings that we've gone to, all sold out, all stayed for question and answer. People just wanted to ask questions all night, which was a great tribute to us because they really, after sitting for a couple hours or half an hour and a half in the picture, they wanted to ask, a lot of questions. I think everything was fine. The way we shot it was until there's a finale, right? And spoiler alert, there's a kind of a big finale. And Gene had to wait 3 or 4 months before doing that. And because there was a transition period. Is that right, Gene? So am I getting
sure? Well, yeah. Another one of the I had to drop another excess. I went away when we shut down production in the beginning to come back and lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I didn't meet those goals, but
you came close. You were close to 45 pounds in about 3 months.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And that was daunting, and that was still, I wouldn't say that, and at that point, I'm trying to mind myself. I'm sitting on a big volcano, but I know that I have to show up with some weight gone. So I managed to get through, after telling everybody some really terrible things and being really drunk and talking to people like I never would, I managed to have to show up. Now, for me, just the fact that you guys let me there was great, but to walk in there was also that was a hard day.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody knew what I did.
Right. So maybe you want to go back to that point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to the point. So we had a wrap party at the end of the first part, and that was the last time I talked to Gene and saw him and heard him as I knew him. That was the last time, because then he was supposed to go off and lose the weight. And, okay, Gene, we'll see you at the Riviera. We're gonna have a great time. Knock yourself out. Have a good 2 or 3 months. And I thought that was it. I had no reason to think anything else. I thought everything was great. I figured we would just pick up.
Right.
And what was it, like just like maybe couple of weeks late, like pretty short after I saw you, so after I saw you, the wheels came off. Is that right? At the end of that party?
The wheels came off during that party.
Yeah.
I hadn't drunk. I was, being good. I was,
right. Yeah. I didn't see it.
Nobody made me drink, but I did.
Right.
But I certainly set it up.
Yeah.
I certainly set myself up for failure that evening. And I, not too far into it, did I just, rant to one of our one of our associates and a lot of other people. And, it's really real. And that's really staggering to me because that's the truth. that you just let that, I stopped being that guy. I just went away.
You went away.
And I remember how bad it got. And I hadn't drunk or anything, but I drank. I tried to get you to drink that night.
Yep.
I kept trying to make you a drink. I
Yeah.
remember that.
That's right. That's right.
And then I remember that from there, I think I spent like 9 days in the Hilton in Palm Springs in a suite and couldn't get off the floor for 9 days.
Yeah. And
So there's a happy, I mean, I'm sorry, but
no,
that's what happens.
No,
That's what happens.
Gets a little darker than that, because then I get a phone call
Yeah.
from one of the writers and the writer of the original screenplay and one of our producers, and he says he's basically crying on the phone. Now I'm with my daughter. My daughter was in a jazz festival in Reno. So I get a phone call on my cell and I see it's him. So I can't hear. I go outside. Hear this guy, my partner in the film, literally just coming unglued. I'm, what's the matter? You got to talk to Gene. You got to talk to Gene. What's the matter? He goes, he just called me. Something really bad happened. I'm thinking, did he get in an accident? I'm like, what? I'm not thinking this. So I try to call him and he answers the phone and some guy answered. Thought it was Gene. Not the Gene I ever knew. And I stood there on a street corner so I could get better reception. And it's a very surreal situation. And he said things that I would never even fathom coming out of his mouth, especially to me. So I'm thinking, okay, all right, he's had a bad day. I hang up after a little bit and got another call from my associate again. And he's like, well, what happened? I go, oh, not good. And I see Gene calling me again. Well, he's not done. Gene's not done with me. Okay, pick it up. And he's giving me an earful. He basically quit the picture. Not doing it, not finishing it. Really? No. Tell me what I can do with the film. Okay. I hang up. I go back in to my daughter and her classmates, acting like nothing happened because I can't say anything. So I go back and I'm like, okay, I can't finish the movie now. I can't finish what we started because the star goes sideways on me, which again hit me by surprise. I didn't know this was coming. I was totally shocked. And then later, when I'm mentioning it to people, and the guy who called me, he's like, "Oh yeah, well, he's had some issues." I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you know? I don't know. No one told me anything like this. What are you talking about? I didn't have any idea." Anyway, so right away, I'm going into damage control mode. So the first thing I think I have to do is rewrite the picture. Yeah. Because he can't do the finale. It's all about the redemption. The story is about, and I hope everybody takes a look at it, but Gene does a phenomenal job in the film. But what happens is this guy who actually in the picture struggles with alcoholism comes back to do this big finale on stage at the Riviera, one of his friends. And I'm realizing I can't do that. So what we're going to have to do is actually rewrite it so that he gets killed. And we use a body double. And the story becomes one of, you know what? Sometimes things just don't always work out. So I go from the mindset of this is a redemption picture. This is good. If you hang in there, you'll be okay to, you know what? Sometimes you don't get that other shot. Sorry, folks. This is life. I had to sell myself on that because I knew I didn't have a choice. So I called William Catt, who plays a drug dealer. And I said, look, you're going to wind up killing Gene because you had this run-in with him earlier in the movie. We use a body double. We'll kill him. Everybody jumps on team. Everybody's all hands on deck trying to save the picture. So I call Elliot. So I call Elliot Gould. And I said, well, guess what? I said, well, we're changing the picture. What are you talking about? I said, well, Gene has some really serious problems right now. I won't get into it, but he's got we can't finish it. We can't do the ending. He goes, well, that's the ending I signed up for. Well, you know what? So did I, but I can't help that right now. I got to finish this. I have to finish the picture. When I asked for financing for this picture, people asked me personally 2 questions. Are you in charge? I said, yeah. They said, is there any way you won't finish it? I said, no, because everybody knows that's what happens. Especially low budget movies where you have to string things together. If directors don't know what they're doing, they never finish it. So I promised I'm going to finish it. I have to finish it. With him, without him, rewrite it, doesn't matter. I didn't have an option. So Elliot's like, well, that's not really what I wanted to do. I'm like, well, yeah, me neither, but that's what we're going to do. Well, let me talk to him. Because, Elliot, as a product of the 60s, has been through all kinds of things with drugs, all this stuff. And he's like, I know how to talk to him. I'll talk to him. Fine. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, yeah, you go talk to him. I'm going to go and finish this new rewrite, and we're going to. So we've already planned it. Now we're actually setting up a date to shoot the rewritten show. And everyone is just shocked, and they're like, I can't believe it. And I go, yeah, I know, it's just really bad. Now Gene starts calling me back. So Gene starts calling me back maybe 2 weeks later. I get kind of a groggy message. Hey, Fred, it's me. Call me. Whatever. Hangs up. I don't call back. No reason for me to call back, actually, at this point. Calls again. Now the messages are getting a little more fluid, a little clearer. And he's getting a little more desperate in his efforts to want to connect with me. And I have an old thing, a saying kind of thing, like I don't negotiate with terrorists. I had a feeling like after what we basically lost everybody's, you're talking about people's money, livelihood, this, that, that's over with. I'm on the hook. And now I'm going to try and I don't have time right now. I have to I wish him the best, but I got to finish this picture. I think your mom, Gene, I think your mom reached out to me, left me a voicemail. I got several voicemails, maybe 10 or 15 voicemails. Elliot had already spoken with Gene. So Elliot calls me back. He goes, look, I talked to Gene. He made some mistakes. He wants to come back. I said, yeah, well, that's nice, but yeah, I don't think so. He's like, well, what do you mean? I go, you know what? Because I can't guarantee that we set the stage, the extras, this, and that he just doesn't do this again. I don't know that. Well, I know he will. I go, okay, Elliot, do you want to write the check for all the extras and all the people that show up, and then look at the watch and say, well, where is he? Aha, he's not showing up again. I go, I can't. I'd love to. I believe in people. I want to do it, but this is a business thing now, Elliot. I can't do it. Okay, let me talk to him again. Talks to him again. I go back to still making the rewritten picture because I know this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So Elliot calls me again. He goes, will you call him? Meanwhile, Gene's calling me again, right? You called me several times and I just didn't return the call. And finally, Elliot calls me again and he says, I'm going to ask you one last time. He says, you don't have to do it. He says, but Gene wants to meet you somewhere. If nothing else, just to speak his piece and tell you kind of what happened. He's got some things to tell you. And if you find it in your heart to do that, then I wish you would. I thought about it. And I go, well, you know what? Let me think about it. Because frankly, I didn't want it to be that easy. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be like, okay, Gene, sorry, let's go back, shake hands, let's go. It was too big of a thing. I mean, it was too big. So, and I was already on the track of making the bad ending, which I didn't like. I was not anxious to make that bad ending at all. It's a horrible, stupid ending to that picture, but I didn't have a choice. I felt that was all I had to do. Didn't want to do it. Nobody wanted to do it. Again, that choice was taken away. So I told Elliot, I said, okay, you know what? I'll call him tomorrow. So the next day comes, I'm like, looking at the phone. Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? I mean, I'm thinking, I love this guy, but this was really bad. I had all these thoughts. So I dial the phone. He answers right away. And he's clear as a bell. I mean, I could tell in the first second and a half, he's clear as a bell. And he's like, he apologized. And he said, look, you don't have to finish this movie with me because you have no reason to do it. Because matter of fact, I completely understand if you don't want to do it. He said, but at least meet with me just so I could see you face to face. I lost some weight. I want to do it. I can do it, but I want to just show you that. Like, all right, you know what? All right, I will do that. So we meet in Ontario, right, halfway between LA and basically Palm Springs, I think, right, Gene, about a halfway point. Met at a Islands or some burger place. So I walk in and I see him. I see him 40 feet, 50 feet away in the booth, and I knew like instantly he was fine, because you can tell. You know the look, you know the demeanor. He's clear as a bell right now. He's completely clean. So I go and I sit down, shake hands. How you doing, Gene? Good. And it was a very emotional time, and it was. And Gene said, "Look, again," he said, I don't blame you if you don't want to finish this movie with me, but I really, 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 really want to do it." I go, "Gene, I really, really, really want you to do it. It's not a matter of wanting you to do it. It's not a matter of you even wanting to do it. Can you do it? We have too much riding on it." He goes, "Yeah, I know." And he looked really good. Again, he lost a lot. He probably lost 25 pounds at that point already. And I said, "Well, you know what? Let me think about it." I said, and at this point, I wasn't playing games. I really had to think about it. So I said, "I'll go back and think about it." So we had some lunch, talked about some things, and got in the car, said goodbye. And I thought, well, maybe I saw him for the last time, or maybe we'll make a great movie. I didn't know. So yeah, so I got home and told everybody, told my family about it, and then a day later, next morning, I called him after thinking about it, and I'm thinking, man, I really want to do that ending. I really want to do that ending. And he's good. He looks good. Sounds good. Dang, I really want to do that. So I call him. And Gene, do you remember? I mean, do you remember that part of the conversation?
No, I thought I was going to be really good on all this. You just keep going.
All right. So what happens is I call him and I said, he goes, "Hey, Mr. Fred," he calls me. And I said, "Hey, Jeannie," long silence. "Want to finish the movie?"
Yeah.
And he's silent for about a minute. And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you know what you got to do. You know the song like the back of your hand. Mac the Knife is a big production finish number. You go do it. You go do it with Tad Sisler, our music guy. Call me when you're done. Do the recording. We'll set up the date. You got about another, I forget, 3 weeks. Lose another 30 pounds, 40 pounds in 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Nothing major. Just go ahead." We got him a trainer.
That didn't work.
Got him a gin. Yeah, the trainer didn't work. But he did. But you made it work. And so that's how we got to the end. And again, moving up to the day, there's always that little bit of doubt.
Sure.
Maybe he almost doesn't quite get it because he feels that he can't, or maybe he's so excited that that he goes off, or maybe all those things. But I kind of felt in my gut that he's going to show. So we waited, and we were in contact. We had some phone calls. It's not we did talk. We did talk several times a week until the finale shoot in Palm Springs at the Riviera. So we loaded in that day. All the extras were, we had several hundred extras in the audience. So as an audience, we've had, the band, we had a live orchestra there, we had everything going on. And Gene walks in, shiny as a new penny. And I just remember looking at the monitor, looking at him up there, just blocking the set with our DP. I was looking at the monitors going, holy shit, he actually showed up. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Like, he doesn't even have time to screw up now. We're going to do this in like 20 minutes. This is going to be fine. And he knocked it out of the park. Totally. And we made the movie we all wanted to make. And it was a great ending to what was a very scary process. But the point being that he wanted to fix. I couldn't do it. Elliot couldn't do it. Everybody else could do it. All the king's horses, money, wasn't going to do it. Gene had to want to do it. And we all knew that. And it wasn't until that moment in time where he decided, for whatever reason, and I can't put words in his mouth, but he decided that it was time. And the movie went on to, we got a special screening at the Directors Guild of America, which movies like this don't normally get. We won virtually every festival that we were in. And Best Picture and the jury award, like better than Best Picture at the Las Vegas Festival. And it was the very last award. You know, it's funny because Gene and I were sitting there in the audience after 3 hours, our name isn't called. I'm like, geez, we really tanked. Very last thing they mentioned, we won the biggest award of the night. And again, I'm proud of this too, because we did something with little bit of money. I'm talking no money, and 8 days. And we were up against movies with $8 million, $10, $20 million budgets. And we beat them. So that felt good. And that's because we made the movie that we wanted to make, and Gene cleaned up and showed up.
That's a really nice story. Yeah, that's you know.
You probably haven't heard it like that. We never talked about. We never actually had this conversation.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know that I'm cool, calm, and collected nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know this would knock me on the floor again. And but I think about that, and really, anybody that's even thinking, watching, that's the whole point is, it's what Fred's movie was about. Even a has-been who really never was can come back. And probably the only person really there at that set that thought I'd come back was you. I think that the rest of them were pretty much not going to be too surprised. And I know that you carried me on your back. So that, makes me emotional. And I know you did. And, we made, as I said before, and let's not anybody take that for granted. The fact that I lived through all the other things I did, and I always managed to somehow keep working. But, if you didn't hit it big and you're in your early 50s, like I told you, and someone says, I'm gonna go on the line for you and make a movie centered around you. And then what did I do? What did my disease do to you? But you know what? It is in my body that came out of my mouth. I'm forever ever have to own what the fuck I did. Yeah. And thank you, Fred.
Yeah. Well,
more than you ever know, because that movie did change my life. And this is not in a bad way at all, but there was nobody else. I was so embarrassed, and so everything that goes along with all of that, just shame. And I don't think I don't know in a different situation if I could have risen above that if you weren't there. Because I knew, nobody else would have been like, come on and, do a good job. I kind of just felt you were pulling for me. And through the whole process of this, we didn't need to say a lot. I knew if you looked at me, you didn't like what I just did. You only really would talk to me if you really, really didn't like it. But I could tell across the room when you liked what we were doing. And it was a real trust thing, is my point.
Oh yeah, and we knew. Yeah, and
I don't think if you weren't there, I couldn't have walked back there and done that.
Oh well.
I mean, I don't know if I would have been strong enough.
Yeah.
But God lets you do neat stuff. Hey, Andy, are you there?
I'm here.
You think you could play that trailer we have of a Fred Sayegh film called The Encore of Tony Durant?
Yeah, it's 3:39. We'll roll it now.
Did I just have a stroke? Did I blow out my short-term memory? I thought I was talking to Tony Durant.
How many things can go wrong in one day?
What a day, huh, Fred?
Everything.
Dad, I pay you rent.
Then you let me sing it live.
I know, Mike. And it all went into black
Let me
hole.
sing it live
Casualty
too.
of great
They
recession.
didn't want to do that either.
Ready
Like,
to do
don't.
just about anything to make a few bucks.
You had fun. You
2
were
days to turn 2 grand into 6.
There's never any time I haven't
really
done
don't
that.
want to know what it's doing.
Anyone that sees it film,
No. I want to keep this away from the kids. My clientele?
feeling good.
Oh yeah.
It draws them in. You know, it draws them in. It was pretty
I told you,
magical.
I showed people in,
Thank you.
on my.
If you've ever been out of shape,
You were the amazing. You were really
That's
great.
it all.
out
You know,
of
you should
hope,
be
if you've ever
able to
cried,
jump right up
screamed
into the
into the
$30
sky,
million picture.
or crashed to the
Because you
ground,
ran the ship. You know, you didn't lose everybody.
feature film to remind
Because
you
there were
that
other
it's
things.
never
Everybody
true.
else was ready to
And
jump
that
and be
husband
shit.
who never really was.
You know?
Can come back.
Sometimes
Right.
you be the dad.
Yeah, you
Real
were.
happy.
Hang on to your hat.
It was a life-changing experience for me, and I hope that transfers over to people, to the audience when they see this film.
I've been a ghost. I've been a ghost since you know me. You really don't know me at all. And I've wanted to say hello to you for a long time, but see, things haven't been very good, and I just haven't felt financially qualified to ask you out.
It's a lot of fun to do something a little bit outside of the box.
I mix up a mighty tasty tea from pharmaceutical-grade pseudoephedrine, and I sell it for a profit.
I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to do something like that again.
This is a real story about somebody who is imperfect. Your protagonist of your film is almost like your anti-hero.
He's trying.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really good at saying sorry afterwards. He's how we all are. We are all defunct and imperfect.
Will you see him?
The film has been so well received by audiences, and I think that the main reason is because it has so much heart.
Please don't go there. I'm such an idiot to think that he was any different.
Wait a second. Wait, please.
The audience wants to believe and wants to be a part of reclamation, wants to be a part of overcoming.
People walk out remembering the end. They remember the encore, if you're lucky enough to be asked for an encore.
What's going on in America, and it's more than just challenges, the anxiety.
What is with you old guys and lying?
It's lying because to get you to see your father on the stage, that's just a white lie.
I don't know, maybe it is.
And lying to ourselves is just something older guys do to survive. It's a reflex from dealing with women and other sundry problems. Living a delusion, son, is something that sometimes it's all we have.
Winner, the Jury Award, Las Vegas International Film Festival. Winner, Best Feature Film, Santa Fe Independent Film Festival. Winner, Spirit of Independence Award, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. Winner, Audience Favorite, Tallgrass International Film Festival. The Encore of Tony Duran, a Fred A. Saig film.
Way back there.
Yeah, he
Hey,
drove
great
the
trailer,
movie.
you guys. That was really entertaining. We picked up some of you guys' comments that was very entertaining. That's okay. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
That's all right.
Well, we
Well,
I can only say that just to tell everybody on that subject of the show that your friendship means more to me than anything, and it's who knew that there was life, and that's why I come here to talk about it. That there's life after getting as low as you could possibly get.
yeah.
You know?
And ironically, I mean, that's the irony of this whole thing is that was the subject matter of the picture.
And that was what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What was people say, what was your big break? I go, well, I played a drunk who wasn't drunk, and then I finished the movie and I became drunker, and then I just decided not to, and then how'd it go? I go, everybody loved the movie about the drunk. How'd it go for you? You know, I was telling people yesterday, Fred, not yesterday, it was Thanksgiving, day before. A guy that I was in high school plays and stuff with, he's the head of the forensic team.
uh-huh.
He called to tell me that the alumni society came to their attention I was dead. And that's just more of the repercussions of this. And what I told, Linda and some of my friends was, I go, for a while, that's what I wanted. And I don't mean like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting all suicidal on you, but I thought that was fantastic. You mean no one needs to see this. I don't want anyone around me, and it is testament. You can crawl out of the hole, and you can come out. I feel like I have more discipline, but my the things I want to achieve, the things I want to do, I want to do them, but for different reasons now. But I'm still driven, even maybe much more so,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and if anybody watches the picture and they saw a glimpse of it in the trailer, perhaps, but I mean, nobody can deny the talent. I mean, you did. I knew we had a movie from the first time, the first morning we shot. I watched you and Elliot in that house do that back and forth, and then we did the thing in the senior home at the piano, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. Which was why I was even more devastated when it went off the rails, because we had it. We were right.
Yeah.
We were at the goal line, like at the.
We
goal
had Gould. We got Gould.
Yeah, yeah.
We got Gould. I mean, it was an amazing experience. So when remember when your meeting with Elliot got moved up?
Yeah.
And Elliot wanted to see you right away after he gave Coach Wooden.
Yeah.
After he brought Coach Wooden his 100-year birthday cake.
That's right.
Because John Wooden was 100 years old, from the UCLA Bruins coach, and Elliot was bringing him his cake.
Yep. Yep. Elliot, big fan.
Which is so Elliot.
Yeah.
And but then he wanted to see you.
Yep. Yep. He wanted to see me, and
before you spoke to any agents.
Exactly.
So when I think about that whole life that people think is glamorous in Hollywood, Mitchell called me and he goes, you need a headshot. I go, I don't have a headshot. I don't really do that. I do this, I do that, whatever. And so while you're going to see him, I'm on the side of the freeway.
With your phone.
Fat as a house, just big as a house, trying to not. I'm on the side of the freeway, taking like 45 pictures of myself to find one.
Yeah, because Elliot wanted to see who's this guy I'm playing with. Right. He was asking me, and you're literally real time taking a picture with. In those, I think it was like a flip phone. I think it was like a little pixely little.
It was terrible. It wasn't that long ago, but it was. Yeah, that was device wise. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and so it was like.
And he was amazing to us. And I mean, he was a nice guy, and he was nice to me. But he was nice to me.
He was totally nice. And you weigh? How much did you weigh then? Seriously.
I weighed about 270 pounds.
Yeah, you're pushing. You're pushing.
No, to do that would have just been piggish. But I never went over the 270.
Yeah, 270 was your limit.
Oh yeah. I didn't look as good 272.
No, there's some shots in there. There's some shots in that movie that make you look really unflattering. I mean, but we did that on purpose. I mean, because that's the point. Because this was a guy who was disgusted with himself. He was disgusted with life. He gave up on himself. And we had to show that juxtapose. I remember the first time said, Gene, you're going to be in your underwear and you're going to flop on the bed. He goes, no, I'm going to put the robe on. I said, no. You're not going to put the robe on. He goes, well, I'm not going to be like kind of naked. I go, no, yeah, you kind of are. And
so I came to the set. I had a robe on, but I had some holy boxer shorts.
Yeah.
With underwear on underneath them, and like a t-shirt under my robe. And you're like, you ready to go? And I'm like, I am ready. Like, you gotta take your clothes off, man. And I'm like, look at me. That's easy for you to say, you guys. That's not freaking cool. Look.
Yeah.
I mean,
but to his credit, he did it, and that's what actors do, they're.
Yeah.
And again,
what an opportunity, because that's what you gave me the opportunity to be an actor, and
you were.
We all want to be. We all want to be able to do movies like that.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled because that's what I want to do now. I want to do more of that.
Yeah, of course. And it was risky, right? But I knew we wanted to get that shot and let you be in that stark reality of being just fat, and because we knew in the end we had to have a good contrast.
Right.
Somebody who's slightly overweight, who's slightly lost weight, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So tell them also to you guys out in the audience, Fred was so cool that when we came back to shoot the ending, and my character lost all this weight, and also we had a makeup a gentleman there, Anthony, I believe.
Yeah.
Was on the set, and Anthony had my character's name was Tony, and we had good Tony and bad Tony, because sometimes you shoot not that often, but a couple times we had to switch between and work in sequence. So good Tony didn't necessarily mean Tony lost all his weight, but with that we used like an airbrush, and for bad Tony, and this was even with what I brought to the party as far as being messed up, but he would just put veins, it just he would just make me really, really unattractive, and you have to throw that out the window.
Yep.
But you guys were boy, it was brutal. Put me in that pool. You put me in the pool.
Yeah.
You had Ken on top. Ken was on. You don't really, once you're like that for a while, you're just like, hey, whatever. What are you looking at? Yeah, those are my breasts.
Well, yeah. Well, again, because you look so great at the end. That's what I wanted. I wanted the contrast. I mean, I wanted the big contrast. And
what I was going to say is that so you kept my son in the movie. You kept him away from me.
Oh yeah, right. So Cody,
when we shot the finale, is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Is that when we shot the finale, we kept him away from me, so that the first time he saw me, and it was the take you used, I believe.
Yes, it is.
It was the first time he saw me in a few months. He hadn't seen me looking good, made up and looking more like a person than the alcoholic father that I was at that other part of the movie. But
yeah, we rolled on that. We rolled on that and got the facial expression of the shock in his face.
You know what? Just while we talk though, I want to say that some of the things that we had were just some of the best show business things in my life. With the things we've done, the stories from Elliot, which were just priceless, but I wanted to talk about an evening we spent with Tony.
Oh yeah.
Friend Tony.
Yep.
And I wanted to touch on that, and then I wanted to touch on something else about something special about you. But with Tony, tell everybody about Tony just a little bit.
So Tony Farazran was a friend. He was a producer. He was a great friend. We lost him to cancer a year ago yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
A really, 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 really great friend. But he was instrumental in helping us get the picture done. He was one of the biggest cheerleader. He's in the film. We got him a bit. He plays the security guard at the hotel, but he did so much for the movie. I mean, talking about like driving the print, driving the DVD across the desert at 3 a.m. to get it there to make the deadline, to get in the festival. Because I was doing color correction hours before the deadline. I mean, that's how close we were to not making the premiere.
And Tony's wise. It's hard to believe he is gone. For me, I can imagine you, Fred, but
yeah,
he's really talented. He worked for CNN.
Oh yeah,
he was an amazing. He's an amazing looking guy.
Yep.
He just really. If you looked around the room and said, "Does someone here have their shit together?" You'd go, "That guy." I think that guy does.
Yeah, that's why he was on camera, and he had 2 or 3 shows on HGTV.
Yeah, and he was just fantastic, man. And we had the 3 of us. I was lucky to be with you two, and they took me in, and the 3 of us just clicked. But you called him during the time there. We called him Superman.
Yep. Yeah, we did. Yeah, he did. He actually looked like Superman.
Yeah, and if we needed, it would be like, I don't know how we're gonna, how you gonna do that, Fred?
Yep. Tony will do it.
Tony would do it.
At the Vegas premiere, remember we had that big suite and we sat out there looking at the
right.
light. We talked about stories from ages ago, and we just had one of it was like one of those things, like Stand By Me moments, where all these 3 grown men were acting like they're 15.
We went to Vegas, and we go to Vegas to we're up for the Best Picture award in the Vegas Film Festival. It's pretty Vegasy, but we get there before. The night before, and Vegas is packed. This is pre-pandemic, and so I think I'm at like the circus or something. We're all staying where we're staying, and we go meet Fred. However, it worked out is the night before, the next day is the screening. The only guys there are me, Fred, and Tony, right? So I think I'm in like I might be in a room with my mom at like Circus. There's nowhere to stay in Vegas. We go to see Fred. Fred has a ski chalet, okay, on the top of the on the top of the Hilton, right?
Yeah.
But very, very understandably, and that is the way it works. You know, he's the director. And in low budget films, the director is very much the star, you know, as well. And that's where he would do business and all of that. So Fred had this place, but the three of us end up there alone. And there's like different levels, and we just sat there. There's no alcohol, there's no nothing going on.
No, there wasn't.
We talked about like from when we were kids and when we would do go out and perform. Fred was a stand-up.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people recognize you from that right now.
Probably not. Hopefully not.
No, but with your cleats.
Yeah, I wore cleats. Don't ask me why. Yeah.
But what we did is then though that I will forget if you want to take it up there is we wandered downstairs.
Yeah. Downstairs, and that's where we went. Well, is that when we did the Q&A? Is that what you're talking about?
Me, you, and Tony were alone the night before the screenings and all. And we went down and we got into the theater and we went backstage to Elvis's dressing room.
Oh, that's right. Because
come on, man. That now to me, like that was just so, you know,
that was pretty cool.
There was no one there. No one let us in.
Yeah.
We were like, we're going in.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in.
Yeah.
Went in. It was like a theater with just, you know, the light on the stage, the light, right? Completely nobody, no security. We're completely in there alone.
Yeah.
And we were in the bowels
That's right.
off stage where Elvis would enter.
Yeah.
Through his, you know, for his show.
Yeah.
And that's where they showed our film.
That was a very magical moment.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was really wild, man.
One of those things, one of those things you never forget. I'm glad.
And the next day, like you said, you and I are sitting there, and Fred and I would sit alone, even if our families were there, because we thought it was, you know, not that we didn't care at all of whether we won or not. Maybe, all right, maybe a little bit. But we didn't want anybody near us, and we both had these pieces of red ribbon in our pocket to ward off vengeance and greed or anything that my mom gave us.
From your mom, exactly.
An old Italian thing, and we'd sit there. So at this Vegas Film Festival, though, immediately after the screening of our film and the Q&A or whatever, they give out awards. And these things, honestly, are going 3 hours. More. We're going into, and Fred and I have seen every movie in the world. And we've mingled with some of these people. And now we're slapping, we're watching, we go, oh, really? They won? Our movie is, you know, better now, isn't it? Like why are we here? You know, I'm like, I'm going to go. He goes, can't, everybody's going to see you go. You know, we can't leave. And like it just happened. We went, what? It was one of those things, this, you know, winner of the best picture is, and we were both laughing because we knew that we were just talking back before.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, we're not going to win this.
Yeah.
We sat here all this time. We're not going to win.
Yep.
But, you know, it's all right to be competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And immediately then, when you win the film festival in Las Vegas, who are they? The showgirls?
Yeah, they had all kinds of.
And then like in Entertainment Tonight
follows
you up, and they followed us out.
Yeah, they had camera. Yeah, they had a lot of paparazzi and cameras.
They walked backwards and followed us out. And they're asking you what, and we're just, it's not lost on us that we're the guys. We were just saying that before when we're in Vegas, you know, and everywhere you go, they put you on all these shows. So in Vegas, we went to do a show.
Yeah, we did the Morning Blend. We did a lot of the Fox and NBC affiliate morning shows.
But when we did the one, we were, I know when we went to Pittsburgh, Hines Ward opened for me. But when we were in Vegas, we were on with the Pointer Sisters.
Pointer Sisters, which was a blast.
And the Pointer Sisters were so nice to us, you guys. Personable, wonderful. They were a hoot.
They were a riot.
not a thing. You're not like who they are, nothing. They're like you're hanging out with your aunts. But then at one moment, just during it, one of them just so sweetly went, "So what are you doing here?" Where? Well, we told her, I guess you missed the news. But, they were just wonderful, and we really all laughed about that too. But they were really sweet ladies. So nothing but tremendous memories. So what I wanted to talk about before we go, and I know you have to be somewhere today, soon.
We're good. I got 10 minutes.
But I wanted to talk about Barnaby Conrad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I really want to talk about him because a movie that I hope you get to make one day, is the book he wrote called Matador.
Right.
And what I was saying is that what is amazing is that, you were a matador. You were a matador.
Well, I didn't go professional, but
I'm on the phone with Fred.
In the old days.
I gotta call you back. Oh, good. Okay, cool. All right, love you. Love you.
In the old days, it was in the 70s radio. So I was one of like 7 Americans.
Right, you're an American bullfighter.
Yeah, I didn't go professional, but I read too much Hemingway as a kid. That's another long story. But,
then you end up becoming almost like a mentor, but definitely a.
Oh yeah, because I met Barnaby Conrad in 1984, and then I owned the rights to his book on and off. I had a deal.
Book which there was a bidding. There was John Huston wanted this book.
Yeah, John Huston actually did. He spent $50,000 US cash in 1952 for the rights, which is a lot of money back then. And then I had handshake deals with people like Robert Evans, and
it's honestly it's just an amazing script.
But Barnaby Conrad was an alcoholic, which you're probably getting to.
Right, and that's first of all, you're telling me the stories about, how when Fred would hang out with him, and name dropping's okay because it kind of makes the stories better. You go to lunch with Jonathan Winters.
Yeah.
And Barnaby, and we were talking about how much they drank.
Yeah,
in particular, Barnaby.
Yeah, water tumblers just full of greyhounds, just one after the other. Luckily, I was driving all the time. I didn't drink anything. So.
What's amazing is though, then I think it's called Nothing Left But Time.
Time is all we have.
Time is all we have. But Barnaby Conrad is a book that details his 4-year stay at the Betty Ford Clinic in 1984, when he was 63 years old.
Yeah.
So at 63 years old, he's a world-class writer.
Yep.
He's an artist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I read like he was a really famous bartender.
Yeah. He owned a great cafe in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
He's really got a cool life.
Pianist. He was the vice consul in Spain. He was friends with Sinclair Lewis and John Steinbeck and Jackie Onassis, and colorful guy.
Yeah. So what a neat experiences you've had.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to know some really cool people.
And I'd love to see you get to make that movie one day.
One day,
And here's a brilliant guy that, whatever taste that guys you got of that, that 63 years old said, I got to go do something about this drinking issue.
And he did.
And it's never too late.
He lived another 27 years.
See?
Sober.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got time to make up for once we sober up.
That's it.
That's all we got left. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Time is all we have. I think that's where he pulled that from.
Time is all we have. So, man, Fred, I really appreciate you being my first guest.
No, I'm Gene. It was an honor. Hope people enjoyed hearing some of this behind the scenes stuff. Hope you didn't.
I can't tell you. It's our film, which every little bit of it. You guys can't imagine how wonderful an experience it was for me. And the things to go so awry. We were just all so excited. Remember the day you guys did the poster? These guys did the poster, and Fred and Mitchell waited.
Yeah.
They waited. They wanted me to see it in person. because the poster has a silhouette of me in it. And when they showed it to me at home on my computer, I started crying, and neither one of them even flinched. They just went, told you you'd cry. So there was a lot of joy, and I think that people still can see if you refilm, but hopefully
Yeah, they can get it on I guess we're on iTunes, and
we're out there now.
Yeah,
iTunes Prime, all that. But we'll have you back. We'll have you back again.
Thank you.
This is too short a time, but I can't tell you publicly how much you mean to me, man.
Well,
and I'm really, really, really still very proud of what we did.
I am, and I'm proud of you too, Gene. And just keep on trucking, brother.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Fred.
Thank
you.
Andy.
Thanks, guys.
You there, sir?
Yep. Really a good hearing from you, and great stories. So thanks.
Why don't we let everybody go? We could catch up on our questions next week.
Sure.
Okay, and just everybody, guys, I want you all to know that we're gonna be back next week with another great guest. I'm hoping to have John Carlos from the 1968 Olympics. He's the man that put up his hand in the air and said, I don't know what he said, but he put his hair up in the air and made a fist. And he's a good friend of mine, like Fred, and staying true to this show. He has seen me in various stages of success as well. I hope you guys had a good time today. I did, even when it didn't feel good. And I love you, Fred. Thanks, you guys. See you, Boomer Bloomers. Hey, wait, there's one more thing.
Yeah, Fred hasn't seen this part.
No, I have not. Oh,
sober up and you get it together. They you get little treasures in your life, and this treasure is Boomer.
So cool.
And it was already his name, even though we're on Bloomer Boomers.
Yeah.
So good night.
Some things are meant to be. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Gene Pietragallo and Fred Saig. Gene Comes Clean, My Life of Excess. Join him every week at bloomerboomer.com and be part of the amazing community of folks over 55. And we'll see you all next week.